Hello, Arknights' most hated YouTuber here, once again giving you one more reason to hate me. I feel just from the title, this video will attract the attention of people whose favorite method of communication is hurling bricks through windows. They'll be drawn here like a Genshin fan to a preschool. So please deposit all your bricks in the comment section, so I can not read anything you say. I will not even try to play both sides here. I feel like the people who enjoy Arknights writing are as pretentious as the word soup unfolding within the text boxes. I want to make one thing immediately clear though. In this video, I am exclusively talking about the writing. The writing isn't the story or the plot. The story is the ideas inside the lowlight's methamphetamine-addicted head. The writing is how those ideas are conveyed. And I will admit, the story is very good. The ideas that the dogshit writing wants to express are really good. Well, when they don't introduce a black hole that makes the entire story and the world building useless, and when they don't basically write or rip a fee out of the story and kill the tone at the same time. But those are topics for two other videos. And this makes it even more of a shame that the writing is atrocious. There is some genuinely great and cool stuff here, so why is it bad? Let's start from the beginning. There is too many goddamn words. To put it simply, Arknights writers have never once heard the saying, "If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter." They will take the simplest, most brain-dead concept on Earth and stretch it to an odyssey that will take you 40 text boxes to go through. I don't care how cool your idea is, I lost interest at the 25th philosophical conjecture about racism and war and disease and taxes. This also causes a very bad gameplay to cutscene ratio. Arknights stages are pretty short, like the life expectancy of a Novax child. Meanwhile, the cutscenes take you 20 minutes to go through each, at the start and at the end of the stage, and are only matched in length and mindless dribble by Yeek. If you don't know what Yeek is, I envy you. It's a postmodern RPG now infamous for its dogshit writing. The main character spends like 55 text boxes just describing a cat. And then there is the certified hood classic, "I sighed as the elevator began to shake, vibrating with emotion." And also using Elisa Lam's death as a major plot point. But this is not a video about Yeek as much as I'd want it to be. So, by the end of an Arknights cutscene, you just feel drained of all your life force, like the f***ing Space Jam basketball sapped your soul away. And you know there is around 80,000 more words to go through. Completing the stages and reading the story along the way just isn't feasible, because the text drains your f***ing soul through your core. Everyone is a pretentious philosophy student, or 14, or both. You know how in other stories there is like one character that speaks all philosophical and all high and mighty with all the difficult words, and that's like their endearing character trait? In Arknights, it's the opposite. Everyone talks like a pretentious first-year philosophy student that likes to smell their own farts. In Arknights, when people talk normally like Lava or Chiave, that's a quirky character trait. Yes, it's as awful as it sounds. Have you ever seen two people argue online, and you can tell both of them obviously think way too highly of themselves, and they speak like a caricature of Light from Death Note? That's Arknights. That's everyone in Arknights. I understand why Mr. Nothing talks with magic words and metaphors meant to confuse and scare and maybe arouse you, because he's a con man. But why does Platinum talk like that? Is it the bullet wounds? So what happens is that half the text boxes are the literary equivalent of a circle. There's so many words, but nothing happens anyways. Arknights is a master of having nothing happen and having nothing matter at all, despite talking for 2 hours, just like politicians. In every one event, there will be like 10 major plot points. There will be shit constantly happening. While you hear a summary, it really feels like a lot happened. But no, it's a scam. It's fake. It's made up. It's a fib. You got played like a damn fiddle. While a lot of things do happen in the events, none of it actually matters for 2 reasons. 1. By the end of the story, the status quo must be upheld and reinforced. The worst example of this is Guiding Ahead, which is to date, I think, still the worst written Arknights event. The entire story revolves around the fact that Laterano is a racist shithole, like Texas. The plot is about changing Laterano for the better, changing the status quo. And despite that, despite all that happens in that event, by the end the status quo remains the same. So in the end, nothing actually happened. In the story about changing the status quo, in the end, the status quo isn't changed. You are mostly in the same place you were at the start. Another example is Dorothy's vision, but this happens very often. Despite events taking 50,000 words, by the end of them, nothing is moved forward, nothing is advanced, the status quo is unchanged, and you are in the same position you were in at the start. Of course, there is exceptions like Near Light, but this happens often. 2. A bunch of events seemingly exclusively exist to set up the next. The most obvious examples that come to mind are Undertides and Stultifera Navis. Undertides exclusively exists to set up Stultifera Navis, and Stultifera Navis exclusively exists to set up the next one. So you get into this loop of setting up for cool shit that I swear will happen next time, but meanwhile, in the current event, nothing happens. Stop taking yourself so damn seriously. There is no consistent tone in this game anymore. You can't take yourself so seriously all the time when you also include cartoon talking rapper animals and this shit. You can't have champagne bottle mines and still pretend you're a serious game. Skins, I can let those slide. Very few of them are actually really canon. The vast majority are dubiously canon. But when the game keeps taking itself so seriously all the time, and then I remember that it means nothing because nothing is changed by the end, it falls flat on its face. Great Chief Gavial is like the one event that doesn't take itself seriously and it works great. But, of course, taking yourself seriously also works, and you should sometimes. Children of Ursus with Gummy My Beloved works. Lone Trail works, if you ignore the black hole. The game taking itself so tremendously seriously all the time, ironically, makes it very hard to take it seriously. And it's hard to care about anything happening, especially combined with the nothing happens issue, and the fucking black hole about to kill everyone. And that's all, max out your gummy, bye. Hey, hello, hi, I haven't uploaded in a while, have I? I just don't really have a lot of motivation to do anything, really. But thank you for watching, and thank you to the channel members. In particular, thank you to Noobpo, Capybara, Lord Takeo, IQ is fake, Techie, Come to Brazil, Chromechan but JJF, and Ice Cube. I cannot string enough words together to thank you properly. Cheers.